welcome to Tome of Uselessness. I'm Devin.
I'm Dan.
And today we're recording in the same room.
Yeah.
Whee.
They're very rare.
It's nice to be in your house again, though, Dan.
Well, and also, like I was saying to you the other day, we haven't done an episode since like September.
Jesus Christ.
But we've done other content.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this will be episode, I think, 101.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I know, like, I think we've both just been busy.
Yeah, no, things happen. It's all good.
Yeah. How do we do this again? Oh, right. Today, very special Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Because it is Christmas time. It's also Dan's birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday, Dan.
Well, thank you.
He is 62 years old.
Or 100.
Or 100, yeah. And we're talking about a modern classic, Violent Night. But first, did you like anything this week?
Sure, I got a few things. I realized when I was editing our wrap-up episode, I forgot to mention What We Do in the Shadows.
So good.
Yeah, I watched all 3 seasons when I was recouping from my tattoo, and it was one of those shows I always knew I was going to enjoy it because I liked the movie a lot. Mm-hmm. And then when I started watching the show, I just binged the hell out of it and watched all of it because I just couldn't stop because it was amazing. I mean, it was also amazing, like I was saying to you as well, like all the cameos, all the people that they get involved, and it's just great.
Yeah, it's similar to Our Flag Means Death in that way too, where there's just everybody's in this show. Like,
because why not? It's like, show up, you be a vampire for like a day, it'll just be fun, and you just do a few lines.
Kristen Schaal and Taika Waititi must be friends or something, because she shows up in Our Flag Means Death as well. Sure. So does, what's his name? Nick Kroll, is that right? The guy that plays kind of the asshole vampire that has parties? That wants the hat?
Yeah, the nightclub guy.
Yeah.
I don't know his name off the top of my head.
Oh, anyways, he shows up in Our Flag Means Death as well, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that episode when he wants the hat is so good. Stupid cursed hat, Laszlo. But yeah, and then like I was just saying, I just discovered this yesterday. Season 4 just dropped on Disney Plus. Looking forward to watching that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I did my hair in Nadia buns the other day.
Nice.
Really cute.
Yeah, so good. And it's so funny because the way they've shot it is mockumentary style as well. Like that every scene with everyone is like over the top always, and her especially.
Oh yeah, I love her. She's so good.
Yeah, so amazing. But yeah, so that's been great. The Peripheral just finished up with Chloe Grace Moretz. That was on in Prime. And 8 episodes.
Nice.
Based off the William Gibson book, which came out in 2014, which I'm reading right now. And maybe I'll do like a retro an episode about both things. It's kind of my plan. I liked it. It was kind of good. It was, you could tell that it had a lesser budget than the Lord of the Rings show, let's just say. Because, they'd be like, put this little thing on, and it's like, a few things with some wires, and it's it's a science fiction device. Who cares? That's not what's important. But
you just spray paint some egg cartons silver.
Yeah, exactly. Put that on the wall. Sci-fi. Yeah, no problem. But for me, again, it's one of those things because I have consumed a lot of sci-fi, as we've talked about, that there was beats in the show or things that were happening where I was like, maybe it'll be this way, because that's like the obvious, but I was hoping that there'd be a twist, but most of the time there wasn't. It was the obvious way, and that's fine. So I think it's kind of a good intro to the genre. Kind of like the basic premise is she puts on this headset, and then she's controlling like a thing. Turns out like it's pretty, like it's in the future. Okay. And she doesn't think it is. It thinks it's a game initially. But it's like, no, it's real, but it's in the future. And then things start to spiral out of control from there.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Time travel's tricky.
Well, and it was pretty, like I said, it had some cool stuff going on, and some neat visuals, so I do recommend it. Apparently, at some points, it was more popular than the Lord of the Rings show. Like, it got more viewership than that show.
Lord of the Rings have suffered from anti-advertising, I think.
Maybe. I haven't finished it yet.
I haven't finished it either.
It's my plan to finish it soon.
Yeah.
The other thing, I finished reading Reaper's Gale, which is, again, the Malazan Book of the Fallen series. That was book 7, I think.
Nice.
It's good. The series continues on. I'll finish that soon. And then the last thing I'll mention, it was something that came out last year. I've been meaning to get to it forever, and I always just kind of forgot and, put it off. And it's called The Alpinist, also on Prime. And it's about a guy from Squamish. And
sorry, is this like a documentary? Or...
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
It's a documentary. It's on Amazon Prime. Done in the same kind of vein as Free Solo and all that kind of stuff like that.
Do you know him?
well, here's the thing. I didn't know, and I should have known, he died in 2018.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And so that kind of messed me up when it's the last, 20 minutes of the movie, and I was like, holy shit. He was only 25.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but what an amazing movie, and his accomplishments were incredible. This guy, that's also one thing that I was like, the potential for his to continue on in a climbing life was limitless. The things he was doing was incredible. Worth the watch.
Will it spoil it if I ask how he dies?
I'm sure, you probably, I think there was a clip of CTV, so it's probably already out there, but he and another guy do a first ascent of a mountain in Alaska, and they get to the top, and he texts his girlfriend, the guys who made the movies, the other, his partner, climbing, also did a video chat with his girlfriend, and they think that what happened is on the way down, there was an avalanche.
Oh no.
And they got buried.
Oh no.
Yeah. And what really messed me up is his girlfriend climbs, Marc-Andre Larac was his name. His girlfriend climbs the mountain opposite of it, a year later, and takes a video, and she's like, there, it's where you are. And I was like, oh my God, is this real? And it's real. And it's just oh my God. So that kind of messed me up, but amazing. Worth the watch. 100%. Like I said, I was kind of I should have known that he was dead because I'm a climber.
Yeah,
but I usually don't pay attention a lot to alpinist stuff because those guys it's a whole other world. And this video proves it. But yeah, on Prime, worth the watch, incredible. Cool. If you especially have a big TV. Because it's just
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so check it out.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think that's it.
All right. I saw some stuff.
Yeah, what did you see? What do you got?
Okay, first I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special that's on Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. It was pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it a whole movie or is it just a 30-minute thing?
45 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
It's just a fun little romp with Drax and
Mantis?
Mantis, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Kevin Bacon's in it.
Oh, nice.
The premise is that it's Christmas time. Mm-hmm. They want to get something nice for Star-Lord.
Sure.
And so they decide to get him Kevin Bacon. And it's just a fun little story.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. I didn't realize how min-max Mantis was until watching this. So
yeah,
interesting.
Nice. Yeah, that's always something we've talked about before. That it's just because I don't know a lot of these characters. Yeah, it's what is their power limits? And many times in comics they don't know, and then they start to experiment.
Mantis has powers similar to Kilgrave.
Nice.
Yeah. So I watched that. I watched Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
The Tim Burton show about the Addams Family. It's fine.
How many episodes is that?
I don't know, 8 maybe?
Okay, yeah.
6 or 8, something. I don't fucking know. I watched it all in one day. It's all a blur. It's kind of a murder mystery. People are saying it's closer to the source material. Okay. Which I thought the source material was the black and white show. Is there comics as well or something?
I don't know. I was going to also say that I thought the show was the original.
Yeah, I thought so too, but I don't think it's anything like the sitcom that was in black and white. Yeah, because it's not really appropriate for today's viewers.
Yeah.
Not in a it's inappropriate, just it's not you have to have more twists and turns than just we're a weird family.
Yeah.
It's mostly about Wednesday, which makes sense because it's called Wednesday. She goes to Nevermore Academy.
Nice.
Gwendolyn Christie is in it as the headmaster.
Oh, cool.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous in it too,
nice.
Right? Not that matters, but she did say in an interview that it's the only TV show she's ever felt pretty in. Yeah. So I'd like to say that I also thought she looked pretty in it.
There you go. Confirmed.
Confirmed. She's kind of Wednesday's played by Jenna Ortega. She does a really good job. But the character of Wednesday, it's hard to get behind her because she's such an asshole to the people around her.
Right.
They didn't give her they almost gave her no warmth or empathy or sympathy. She just kind of, everybody's a means to an end for her, it seems like.
Yeah, well, and I was going to reference that the Christina Ricci Wednesday, yes, she is a crazy psycho, but she still was her family, yes, like her, her and her brother.
Yeah,
she'll back them, right? Kind of a thing, right?
She's kind of got a cute relationship with her brother, but he's barely in it.
Oh, okay.
She spends a lot of the movie just disliking her parents.
Oh.
Which Morticia is played by Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, really?
And
it's good casting. Yeah.
It's good casting when you look at her, but I don't know if they just gave her an Ativan before shooting, because she just doesn't really do much. Like, she's not in it much, but when she is, she's not really doing anything except looking cool.
Sure.
And then Christina Ricci's actually in it,
too, really?
as one of the teachers.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, overall, it's watchable, it's fine. Whoever hired Tim Burton put a leash on him, because it wasn't Johnny Depp doesn't show up in a crazy hat.
I think, I don't know if you saw that Photoshop. Somebody did that. They were like, what I was expecting, because Tim Burton was involved, and it was Photoshop his face over Wednesday.
Nice. No, it was just it didn't even have weird angled buildings or creepy trees. There wasn't.
Want some of that.
Barely any stripes in this movie.
What?
Yeah, so it was not Tim Burton. It felt like a very watered down Tim Burton, but it might be because when you let him do what he wants, he makes crap.
Well, or maybe he just had another voice working with him that helped bounce his ideas around. And it
sounded like he was very involved in the casting of Jenna Ortega and in the styling of Wednesday, but I think they had other directors for the episode, so maybe he was more a showrunner than
production design,
that kind of thing. So it was all right.
Speaking of those three people, Tim Burton, Johnny Depp, and Christina Ricci, I still am really a big fan of Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, I love Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow is so good. I know it's I think it is popular, but not people are I don't know, I love that movie still.
Sleepy
so
Hollow,
good.
I think I've said it before in the show, but leading up to Sleepy Hollow, that teaser trailer
is amazing.
Is so good, of the weird lantern and the
creepy kid
and hiding under the floorboards and
the sword just
amazing.
Yeah.
I was so excited for that movie that I was having dreams about it before it came out. I was just so pumped for it, and it didn't let down. I thought they did a great job.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, it's got an interesting twist in it.
Yeah. Well, because it was obviously during Halloween, some of the movie channels I have were playing all Halloween movies, and Sleepy Hollow was on, and I'm like, yes.
I love the color scheme of that movie. It's so muted and moody,
and works for that movie.
And it works for the movie.
Yeah.
And Johnny Depp is good in it. He doesn't have a crazy hat. Pre-crazy hat period.
He's got some wild hair, but no hat. No crazy hat. Yeah.
But it's reasonably wild hair.
It works. Yeah.
I think that's about it for things that I liked, though.
Fair enough, yeah.
I hate everything else.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But you liked what we watched.
I did, and I've been telling everybody to go watch it.
Yeah, I definitely was telling some coworkers, too. I was like, go see this movie.
Yeah. I'm like, do you like Christmas and John Wick? Then you'll like this.
Yeah, that's a good summation. Or what I discovered when I was looking through the cast, as well as some of these people, the directors, writers, and the behind the scenes, they worked on Nobody, which I haven't seen, but I heard is really good. It's got the guy... Oh my gosh, I can't pull his name off the top of my head. He was in Better Call Saul. He was the main guy in that.
I think I've seen it on some streaming.
Yeah.
That's you should watch this. And I'm like, fuck off.
But yeah, so it was much of this crew that made that movie, and I'd heard that was a very good action movie as well. In the same kind of vein of John Wick, or what's the other one? Not Die Hard, but same kind of idea where it's just a dude swept up in it kind of thing, which is what this is, but our dude is Santa. Yeah.
And he's played by Thirst Trap Dad from Stranger Things.
David Harbour. And the director was Tommy Wirkola, written by Pat Casey, Josh Miller. Those guys have written the Sonic movies, which is kind of funny to look up.
Yeah.
And
there's 2 Sonic movies.
There are 2 Sonic movies, and the budget was only $20 million, supposedly, or reportedly. Oh. And as of our recording, it's already made 41.7
good for that
million worldwide. So at least, it's recouped its money, and I'm sure, like it'll do well on a streaming service eventually as well.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
So good. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about all the kills in this movie.
Sure.
So, spoilers ahead.
Yeah, maybe just before that, but like, obviously, we're both enjoyed it a lot. Like you said, John Wick meets a Christmas movie. I would also describe it very similarly. It's kind of also like I thought it was like Die Hard, but more action, more violent. 100% true.
I wouldn't compare it to Die Hard.
Well, in the sense that he's like trapped in the house, and then there's an action situation.
It
right?
doesn't have the same seriousness as
No,
Die Hard,
yeah.
though. It's a very silly movie. Like, it's like Krampus plus John Wick plus like a sprinkle of Die Hard plus like, I don't know, the Santa Claus or something.
Yeah, no, I just mean it's like, he's there and he gets trapped in an action situation.
Fair. But it has that kind of dark comedic tone of Krampus.
You and I were laughing a lot in the cinema.
I noticed that I was like laughing because my laugh is loud and distinct.
Yes.
And it carries. And I noticed that I was laughing more than other people.
We both were laughing more than other people.
And also, there was one part that I laughed really loud and nobody else did. And I think it was the part where the grandma was about the, like, annoying boy child.
Yeah.
Where she's like, I told you you should have hit him more. And I don't know why, but it just made me like, and nobody else was laughing. Nobody else thought that was funny. I was like, whoop.
Domestic abuse joke, Devin.
I think it was the
delivery.
The delivery of it. The flat, like.
Well, all her lines were just flat. Of like sarcasm.
What's she from?
That's what I was going to ask you, because that was Leah Brady, sorry.
Okay.
Played Trudy Lightstone. And obviously her voice is very distinctive.
Yeah.
But I was like, I've heard her voice, but I don't know of other stuff I've seen her in. I'm sure she's been like in probably a ton of stuff I've seen. Just
It's like, I just have such a soft spot for like older women who are just rich and bitter.
Yeah.
Like the mom from Arrested Development.
Sure.
Like the mom from Archer. I know it's played by the same person.
Same woman, yeah.
But like that style of character is so funny to me.
Yeah, fair enough.
This lady,
yeah, Trudy Lightstone.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like you said, David Harbour plays our titular Santa Claus. And he's the real deal Santa Claus. Which, what a great opening. He's just in a bar drinking.
He's in a bar drinking and being sad about capitalism.
Christmas. Yeah. There's that whole theme through it.
Yeah.
And then John Leguizamo plays Scrooge, and he's our main action villain.
I'm surprised that John Leguizamo never got bigger. Like, he's a good actor, and he's, like, in, like, a lot of, like, supporting things like this.
Yeah.
But I'm, like, he's never really been, like, leading man guy.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in The Pest, right, or something?
He was in The Pest, which I do enjoy. Yeah. I'm sure that movie does not hold up, but...
Probably not.
Yeah.
Wait, The Pest was the one where they like, try to hunt him, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've seen that,
Yeah, no, that's some fun stuff. Or I was going to say, I mean, maybe he's been in, like, Latin movies...
Oh, okay, yeah.
That we're just unaware of. But you're right, in the more mainstream stuff you see him in, and not to... That's a fine career to play these kind of guys and just have...
he's just... Like, everything... Whenever he shows up on screen, I'm like, oh, yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
He's really good.
No, yeah. Absolutely.
He was in that movie Chef that I saw a little while ago.
Right, yeah.
Like, as, like, just... friend that wants to help the guy out.
Sure.
Yeah, and he was great in that, and he's great in this, and he's great in everything he's in, and they're just... Maybe Darren Aronofsky should Brendan Fraser, my friend there, and put him in a movie where he plays something.
Something.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay.
I feel like picking on Darren Aronofsky today. That was mostly off mic, though. So. Yeah. So just so that the listeners are in on the joke, I read a quote about the movie The Whale that was like, Darren Aronofsky can't help but make horror movies even when it's not appropriate. And it just made me laugh because it's kind of true.
Yeah, hey, when it's working, it's working.
Yeah. Just keep making horror movies.
Yeah, we meet our family. Sure. You're waiting for the action to kick off.
Who played the dad?
Alex Hassel, Jason Lightstone. Yes.
What is he from?
No idea.
Because you know what he seems like to me? He seems to me like other detective in a detective show.
Nice. Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where there's like a show like some, I know House isn't a detective show, but something like where there's a detective who's like, I'm an asshole and I'm super smart, and then he's got like another guy that works with him.
Yeah.
That guy seems like
who's trying to play it by the rules.
Or just trying to work with like a psychopath.
Right.
Like he seems like other guy to me.
No, that's fine.
Not like chief, not like romantic potential, but just like other detective in that show.
Sure.
Yeah. We're like, the reasonable one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, he has his wife, Alexis Louder, played Linda, and their daughter, Beverly D'Angelo, was Gertrude.
I thought that their daughter did a really good job.
I thought so as well.
Yeah, like as far as like children actors go, I didn't want to punch her.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I thought she was very charming and sweet, and I wanted her to be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the magic of Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, and we get a Home Alone-esque sequence, which they reference immediately in the beginning of the movie. Yeah. So you're like, we'll talk about it, I'm sure, but like there's everything set up and payoff.
Yeah, it's great.
But in this movie, we got to see like not the more violent version, because the Home Alone is actually pretty violent, but like the consequences, like the blood part, and the messed up of getting like hit with a bowling ball to the face, and it's just like, it doesn't kill you, it doesn't knock you out, and she's just like, You're like, yeah, that would really hurt.
Yeah, watching it like made me cringe in the way that like when you see someone get hurt, you cringe. Not because it was like bad filmmaking or anything, but I was just like, like of all the like violence in the movies, that was the most visceral.
100%, yeah. Because everything else is like, like some punching, some shooting. But these are just like, oh no, nail in the foot.
Nail through the chin.
Yeah, nail through the chin. But yeah, our basic premise is a family's getting together. We got our Trudy. She's, rich beyond normal people's dreams. They live off a private road in a giant mansion, and then everybody's there trying to suck. Like, you get the idea that like everyone's trying to like get money out of her in some way. Yeah. Because she's quite rich, and then John Leguizamo shows up, and you figure it's just like, it's a standard like robbery or hostage situation, but there's more.
So Trudy has 2 kids. Right?
Yes.
The daughter and the son.
Yes.
And the son is supposed to be the nice one, who's got his daughter, who's very sweet.
Yes.
And then the daughter of Trudy is a nightmare, and her partner is a wannabe actor who's also a kind of a nightmare.
Well, or he is an actor, but he's kind of like a B movie action actor.
He wants to be like
he wants to go to the next level.
And then her son is like a TikTok nightmare.
Yes. Bertrude, they called him.
Yeah, Bertrude, that's right.
Yeah.
Hashtag
be life.
You want him to die from the moment he opens his mouth.
Or at least get punched in the face.
Yeah. You're like, I do not condone violence against children, but I will make an exception.
It's movie violence. It's okay.
It's fine.
But even the first thing we see of him, unlike in like Knives Out, where it's just like, that's an online troll, he's just like, flashing the change, being like, checking me in the house, hashtag be life, living it large. And you're just like, oh god, this kid.
Just the worst type of human.
Basically, yes. Hostage situation occurs.
Yeah, they have 300 million or something in the vault in the basement.
That's what it turns out is, rather than it just being a simpler kind of things, they have a giant vault with $300 million in the basement that was stolen from the government and hidden away off books.
Yeah, from like gun sales or something.
Arms deals, yes.
Yeah, arms deals,
It was meant to be like money for arms deals in the Middle East, but they stole it all.
Yeah.
Which, pretty true to life, actually.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Santa came to just deliver some gifts, and then he has a seat in a nice vibrating chair.
Falls asleep.
Has some booze.
Yeah.
Falls asleep.
And chaos ensues.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
Okay, so these dudes are attacking, and let's just go right into the deaths.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Which one do you want to go for? You're like...
So, my favorite.
Okay.
I have two favorites.
Sure.
And it's one of the first ones and one of the last ones.
Nice.
The first one is... He's, like, fighting a guy in, like, I guess it's, like, a rec room.
Oh, down in the basement?
Down in the basement.
Yeah.
And he stabs him in the eye with a Christmas star.
Yes.
And then he plugs it in, and the guy gets electrocuted, and it's so great.
And it starts catching on fire. Yeah, because that's the nice twist on it, is, like, yeah, it's pretty down and out, like, bare knuckle fight. They're just giving her each other. Santa's reaching into his gift sack trying to find anything to use as a weapon, and he's just like, doesn't anyone want a baseball bat or something? And then the star in the face was kind of crazy, because it's like you expect that to be the end of the fight.
Yeah.
Like, guy, star in the face, cool. And then he gets back up and he's just like, ah! And like you said, he plugs it in and you're just like, oh gosh.
Like, I think that, like, one of my biggest complaints is when, like, there is a theme to an action movie and they do not utilize the theme.
Oh yeah, no.
This movie, every kill is Christmas related.
Sure.
Except for, I don't know, I think they shoot one guy at the end.
Well, the shed, but that's more character, not as much Christmas.
Even in the shed, though.
No, yeah, I'm not saying there's Christmassy elements, but it's mostly also character elements.
Character elements, yeah. But they just, every kill is... they use Christmas in some way. Like, the first kill, I guess, is Santa gets attacked, and, like, earlier we're shown a great big icicle sticking out of the ground, and the guy that attacks Santa goes at the window and gets impaled on a giant icicle, and you're just like, I am here for this.
Yeah, after he gets strangled a lot by Christmas lights.
Oh, that's right, yeah! Yeah, I forgot about that, yeah.
Because Santa goes out the window with him.
That's right, yeah.
That's how he ends up in the basement. No, that was great as well. Yeah, that basement fight was definitely where it took it to the next level. Because the first fight is like, pretty standard stuff, he's using the lights, etc. But yeah, that basement fight was just like
so good.
So good. Everything going on in that one.
There's also the bad guys. This scene was like a little bit like, again, like, but the bad guys use a nutcracker to break someone's finger. Yeah. Which is just, see it, it's a lot.
It's finger torture, yeah. Well, and the one character, Krampus, Brendan Fletcher, he's like, when they're like, break his fingers, and everyone's like, that's pretty, like, and then he's like, I'll do it, and then I was like, thank you, a psychopath, or a sociopath, or whatever. Right. Yeah, he's like, finally, a pure sociopath. Yeah.
Yeah. My other favorite kill, I'm going to jump around the movie a bit, was obviously when John... What's his name? John Leguizamo?
Leguizamo? Yeah.
Gets killed.
Sure.
And it's a fight between him and Santa.
Yeah. Santa's
not doing so great.
No.
They're kind of like near this abandoned building, and there's like a outdoor... Or possibly like a remnant from like
that's what I assumed. Yeah, it was like there was like a cabin or something, and it's gone
and
now.
It's gone,
but there's some stone.
But there's a stone fireplace that goes to basically nowhere.
Yeah.
And they end up right at the base of it, and they're fighting, and then Santa does this little nose thing and goes up the chimney, but he's holding on to John.
Yeah.
And it just, when he comes out, he just has a bloody torso.
Well, and it's not slow either. John Leguizamo's trying to get dragged up a chimney, and he's like breaking underneath it. Because and that's a good subversion, because usually you would expect in many things where there's like where whatever you're holding would also teleport with you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. He just gets dragged through this chimney and comes out a bloody pulp at the other end.
So at the end, I am jumping around and I apologize, but at the end, John Leguizamo realizes that it's the real Santa, because he sees his naughty nice list, and he's like, oh, you are the real Santa.
And the whole movie, Santa's been saying, like, I'm Santa Claus.
Santa, yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he's like, oh, it's true.
Yeah.
And then you would, like, like, part of you expects, like, oh, this is where he's gonna...
it'll melt his heart.
It's gonna melt his heart.
Yeah.
He's gonna turn over a new leaf.
Yeah.
He's gonna...
Because he even looks at the naughty nice list and sees his own name and all of his acts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, you think, oh, okay, you know what, he had a sad story about Christmas earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll confront Santa and be like, why weren't you there for me? And Santa's like, I'm here for you now. And they hug and they become best friends and he goes and works at the North Pole. Whatever. But instead, he's like, great, if I kill Santa, I'll kill Christmas, so fuck you.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. And that fight was really interesting because it's not initially revealed that they end up on, like, a sheet of ice.
Yeah.
And then Scrooge is wearing some crampons, so he's got traction, whereas Santa's got nothing. Yeah, he's just like, slipping around. So it just added another element and some good tension to the fight.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because initially you think it's just going to be in the remnants of the cabin, and there's like a snowmobile there, so maybe something will happen with that. But that gets shunted to the side because it explodes, and then they both end up on this ice sheet. So yeah, a good escalation there of the fight.
Yeah, it was great. And it was great that he didn't turn over a new leaf. Yeah. I liked that he's just... no, you're the real Santa. I guess if I kill you, I'll kill Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just liked it. It was great.
As you said, it's a nice subversion.
Yeah.
He's just a bad guy the whole way.
It's just, I mean, like, personally, in my everyday beliefs, I don't think anybody is truly, like, 100% evil. Mm-hmm. I don't believe in that. I think people just make choices based on their circumstances, yada, yada, yada.
Sure.
But in movies, it's really fun to have someone that's just pure evil. Yeah. And when they're confronted with Christmas magic, they're like, well, if I kill it, it won't be around anymore.
My goal can be realized. That was good stuff. And I really liked just like small touches as well, where after that fight in the basement, I think it is, Santa is cut. And then so he takes off his shirt, or like his jacket and his like vest and everything, and then he's got these sweet ass Viking tattoos down his arm. And then he's bandaging himself up, he sews himself up, and then he gets some ribbon and then ties a bow around it.
I love that he uses Christmas wrapping to
like,
wrap himself up.
Yeah, to like stitch the bleeding, he puts some Christmas paper there, and he's just like, okay, and then re-puts his stuff back on, which was pretty great. And then they gave us some nice flashes, because even in the first fight, I think it is, and it definitely is the guy in the basement where he's like, you don't want to do this. Yeah. And he's like, just don't do this fight, like no. And then as the movie goes, we find out
he was like a Norse warrior.
Yeah, he was a Norse warrior, Viking raider guy, and he was like, I was a bad dude. And like the scenes we see, he's just covered in gore and blood. And his hammer, Skull Crusher, is just like... I
was glad they sprinkled that in sparingly. Yeah. I thought we were going to get an extended scene where he's like, my family or some shit that. And I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, like we never find out how or why he turned to become Santa. He was just like, I was a bad guy and I just didn't want to do that anymore. Yeah. And you're like... done.
Yeah, that's all you need. All you need, right?
As speaking of slight side tangent, I just watched for the first time ever The Producers. Yeah. And that movie is about an hour and a half, and this was about like hour 40-ish or whatever kind of thing. But similarly, I think like it was nice to watch a movie like that where there was no 20-minute sequence where we find out the other character's backstory and this and that. Because it's like it would have been unnecessary to the story and it would just extended the runtime. Similar to this, like you said, it's just like, we got some snippets. Yep. Done.
No, I've been watching a couple movies from the 80s. Like I rewatched Back to the Future and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Yeah. And I like that it's just like, this is the story. Yeah. Goodbye. Like, it's such a nice break from like, we have to have everybody's backstory and there has to be secret and twists and turns and
and even the producers it's like we learn about the main guy and then Gene Wilder's there and he's just like I was but it was never shown or he's just kind of like I was just like this low accountant, no one ever blah blah blah, and then it's just like and moving on. Right? It was just like I was like, whoa, it's like it's happening. It's just like it's going. And this movie similarly, it's just like it's like action beat. It's like we get rest. He heals himself. He talks to Trudy. action sequence. And then, again, it's just like, yeah, it's predictable, boom, 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 but it doesn't matter. It's
done
fun.
Well, yeah.
It's fun. You're along for the ride.
The story is predictable. The kills are not.
No, yeah.
Yeah, and then that makes it interesting.
Yeah, and all the action sequences, or like you said as well, like it all incorporates the Christmas theme. The shed sequence when they go, that's when a whole bunch of new goons show up, where you're like, all right, now you can just get it on with some goons. He gets his hammer, and then the shed is full of stuff. Skates, ice machines.
Oh, yeah.
Blades, all of it. You could think of that would be in a big-ass shed that's as big as a house. It's there.
It's there.
and it's dark.
There's a wood chipper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And
which you have to use.
100%. If that shows up on screen, it's like, yes.
You better be throwing a person in there.
Yeah, even when he first walks in and you see like the ice machine, like the snow plow, whatever, it's got all its blades, and it's just like, it's quick. It's just like boom, and he moves on, and you're like, that's coming into play.
That's coming into play.
I mean, if it doesn't, you have failed at film school.
I've got to say, this has got to be in my top 3 wood chipper movies, along with Fargo and Happy Death Day to You.
Right.
The second Happy Death Day one.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. That movie.
It was on TV the other day. I haven't seen it.
You should watch the second one's so much more fun than the first one.
Really?
Because the first one's fun too.
Yeah.
But in the second one, sorry to go off on a tangent, but. Mm-hmm. So in the first one, she's living the same day over and over again, and somebody's trying to kill her.
Yeah.
The second one, she's living the same day over and over again, and she figures out that if she gets the right scientific formula or whatever, that she can stop it.
Okay.
So she's trying. So every day, she gets a bunch of nerds to try to help her, and then she has to memorize it and stuff. But that also means that, every failed attempt, she just has to kill herself so she can restart and try again.
Right.
So we get a beautiful, lovely montage of her just dying in the most spectacular ways. She's drinking Drano in a store. She jumps out of an airplane to land on her boyfriend because in this reality, he has a different girlfriend.
Right.
And then she fully runs and jumps into a wood chipper. Yeah. And it's great. It's so fun.
I think I've seen that clip from just maybe it was in the trailer probably.
Oh, yeah.
No, and that reminded me, I haven't seen this movie, and I can't remember the title off the top of my head. I think it was Boss something maybe, but it's similar, it's the Groundhog Day premise where a guy's reliving the same day, but it's an assassin's trying to kill him. And so every day he's trying to figure out how to not get killed by this assassin.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that sounds kind of like a neat twist on the Groundhog Day thing. And so, but then it's when he starts doing things, it changes the way the assassin approaches him too. So there's there's some actual give and take there. And I was like, oh, that sounds like it might be kind of fun as well.
Yeah, movies where people just die over and over again.
Sure. Yeah. Fun. Well, and then like I said, in this one. With the Home Alone section, Trudy gets what is it? Candy cane and gingerbread, I think it is. Go after her. 2 of the goons.
Oh, right. The goons have Christmas-themed names.
Yes, they do.
They're not actual candy canes.
No, yeah. No, yeah. So they go after her, and then you referenced, there's a nail on the ladder going to the attic, which we can all see, but she cut one of the boards. Yeah. Which I was like, nice. And there's also a fly trap full of drill bits and screws and everything at the bottom of the stairs, so they're like, oh, walk around that, no problem. Yeah. And then and
they're chiding her. They're like, if you're gonna do booby traps, you can't let people see them ahead of time.
Yeah. And then he steps on the ladder, falls, nail right through the
through the fucking
through the jaw, and then so he's stuck on there. And then she unleashes bowling balls down the ladder, which knocks, hits them and everything. And it's just pure chaos. When Candy Cane finally gets up there, because the other guy falls and he's out of it. Yeah. And then it was pretty clever. Like I said, she eventually has a bungee cord throwing, and throws she throws a couple balls at her, so Candy Cane catches them ha, and then she throws a dumbbell at her. Yeah. It's just ow, that would hurt so much.
I guess she puts glue on the ground or whatever.
That's right. Yeah. So she's stuck. Yeah.
Stuck. Yeah.
It was very clever sequence. Yeah. And again playing up that Home Alone. Yeah. I'm stuck and just making this happen.
It was fun because the first thing that when we meet Trudy, yes. The first or second thing she says is, I just watched Home Alone and it's so cool. And it's that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, again, great setup to pay off. So that it's just like, she's doing a Home Alone. And I think she even says that to Santa or whatever. She's like, I'm going to do a Home Alone.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, basically.
There was also the other great setup, which you clocked right away.
Oh, yeah, when he picks up a candy cane at the beginning. Yeah. Yeah, in the beginning of the movie, as soon as he picks up a candy cane, I'm like, if he's not stabbing somebody with that, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And he does. In our great shed sequence.
That's a fun sequence. He's got his hair like a man bun.
Oh, yeah, he's got his Viking man bun going on. And then, because he was talking about his hammer, Skull Crusher, and how he wished he had it. And he's reminiscing about Mrs. Claus as well. The relationship's a little rockier than this and that. And then his ring falls away, and he chases it through the dark, and then it, boom, sledgehammer. And he picks it up, and then he's, prepping. He's like, I'm going to kill all these people. Because, Trudy's like, oh, careful, Santa, they're coming. He's like, they're all going to die. And you're just like, yes, they are, Santa.
Yes. I guess we should also explain that his reindeer fuck off pretty early, too. So he's kind of stuck there as well.
Right, yeah. There's some shots fired, and they take off.
And then post-shed scene, there's one guy left. Yep. He's got a grenade. And Santa, basically puts it in his pocket and then walks away. Yeah. And then it's so great because he's walking around and he's like, no, I gotta see this. Stops and turns around and watches him explode. Yeah.
Which was, again, a great subversion and a nice joke about it. Because everyone, it does just walk away.
Just walk away.
He's like, no, wait, what's going to happen here?
Yeah. So good.
And then after they kill Krampus, the people inside, because they get into a nice argument about who gets shot first, and then, they distract him with that, and then they beat him up, and then they do the classic, they all beat him up, and they're like, oh, is he dead? And they're like, yeah, maybe. And then he's like, ah! And then someone just stabs him.
Yeah, with a fire poker.
Yeah, with a fire poker. Yeah. And then, they're gonna fight back. They fight back against some goons and stuff like that, and... Yeah,
so there's a kind of... The B plot going on is that when John, or Scrooge,
yes,
opens up the vault...
Yes.
There's no money in it.
It's empty.
Because the son, Frank or something?
Jason.
Yeah. Has stolen the money because he wants to get out from under his mom's thumb.
Yeah.
And so he's stolen the money so that he can fix his marriage with Lady.
Yeah, it's assumed that, or maybe they're not divorced, but they're not living together because of his relationship with his mom and the work that he does for her.
Yeah. And she's mad. When she finds out, she's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was so great. She's not she's like, yeah, great idea. We could have escaped with $300 million. She's like, that is the dumbest thing ever.
Why would you do that? Yeah. Why? Yeah. And then I also liked that he wrote a card to his mom.
Yeah,
telling her what's happened. Yeah. Because they were going to leave in the night and then she'd just have the gift to open.
His plan was to abscond in the evening.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she is kind of proud of him. Yeah. For it.
Yeah, well, she says, she's like, Lightstones, we go out and take what we want. And she's like, good job, you took that money.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, but I did love that as well, like you said, with his wife being like, what are you talking about? Yeah. I didn't like it because of the money, and you're stealing the money now.
Just get a job somewhere. Yeah. Stop being so fucking lazy.
And it's not, it's a genius theft because that money... She can't report it stolen.
Yeah.
She stole it from the government.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
So it's great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is why Scrooge wants it, of course. It's all off the books.
Yeah, I was expecting there to be more of a connection between, Scrooge and Trudy, why he specifically targeted her, that he had got fired or something.
Yeah, or her dad worked for one of her companies.
Yeah.
Because there was a story about his dad being fired around Christmas, but it wasn't revealed to be one of their companies. I was expecting that.
I was expecting, because it was... His plan was so meticulous.
And
he had
researched,
done a ton of research. He had bought out her secret squad,
her secret goon squad,
death guys.
Yeah, her goon squad.
Yeah. And he knew how the vault was supposed to be opened. He managed to get his whole crew in there to be catering staff or whatever. But yeah, it was never And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with there not being a thing. But
even just that connection that it's his dad worked for one of their companies and then he got let go. That's why he had the bad Christmas when he was a kid.
Yeah. Sure. And that's why he was attacking at Christmas. But it was just more he just wants that money.
He just wants that money?
Fair. I want that money too.
Sure, yeah.
Do you know what I could buy with that money?
house at least.
Everything.
Yeah. You could buy a house in Vancouver.
Yeah, that's it. I could buy the entire territory of Nunavut or one house in Vancouver.
Yep.
Canada's fucked.
It's got some issues right now.
I could buy the entire territory of Nunavut, but I wouldn't be able to afford any food there.
Yeah.
Because bananas are $500, basically.
Yeah. But then, yeah, like I said, so the money, he stashed it outside under the nativity scene, so they go out there to get it. Then his wife and Santa, they help, they kill some goons and this and that, and then there's a chase scene with some snowmobiles, and that's how we end up at the cabin like we were talking about.
Which is great.
Yeah. And then our husband and wife team, Alex and Alexis, they have to fight off one goon who was left alive.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So then they both have to, they're not action heroes, and they're trying their best.
Yeah. No, how did she kill that guy? Because he's got her strangled.
Yeah.
And
she grabs an icicle and stabs him, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that was myth busted.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that Jason is completely useless and knocked out behind a bale of hay the entire time.
Yeah. I was like, I think that was myth busted on that one when Mythbusters did that. I
mean, it would still hurt.
Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. Not denying that.
Yeah.
But, I was just like, I was, because they killed someone with an icicle earlier, so I was hoping for something else.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
After the cabin fight,
yeah,
Santa gets shot.
Yeah.
By some goon.
Oh, yeah, the last goon, the commander guy.
Yeah.
Right, Commander Thorpe. And he's like, I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, I'm just going to shoot you.
Yeah, basically.
And then then Trudy shoots Thorpe.
Yes.
No, the mom.
Yeah, that's Trudy.
Oh, Trudy too. Yeah.
That's Trudy.
Gertrude and Trudy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gertrude, yes.
Yeah. And then Santa's dying, so then Jason, learn the error of his ways, starts burning money. Yeah. Literally. To keep him warm.
Yeah, which I was like, smart, but also the fire you're using is 4 feet away, it seems like, from Santa. He needs to be a little closer to that fire.
I get this is symbolic at this point. That Christmas means more than money.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which I loved at the end skipping ahead, sorry.
Yeah.
When the daughter's like, to burn $500,000 for that.
Yeah. And then Trudy figures out that y'all have to believe in Santa.
Believe, yes.
And then he comes back to life.
Yeah.
And then the reindeer show up and they've got the sledgehammer and he goes on his merry way.
Yes, which I loved. I don't think I've ever seen anybody so excited to see a Warhammer.
Yeah.
Skull Crusher!
He's so excited.
Yeah, which I was like, nice.
Yeah.
And I also liked throughout the entire movie, because even this is referenced as well as this, is that Santa, David Harbour, doesn't know how Christmas magic works. It just works.
It just works.
Yeah, and they're like, how did that even happen? He's like, I don't know.
Christmas magic.
Just Christmas magic. So he always just says Christmas magic.
Yeah.
And it works so well in a movie like that, it doesn't need to be explained. Whereas other movies, you'd be like, wait, but I want some mechanics. This, you're like, no, it's Christmas magic.
It's
Christmas
magic, yeah.
He goes up and down the chimneys by touching his nose. Cool. Reaches in the sack, pulls out stuff.
Doesn't work when he's sad. Cool.
Yeah, doesn't work when he's sad. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the gifts thing, he's like, I just reach in the sack and he's pull out a gift.
The Santa sack was so fun in this movie.
Yeah.
Whether it was was it gingerbread was trying to figure out what was in the bag and just kept pulling gifts out.
Yeah.
Or whether it was when he's using it to fight.
Yeah, he's trying to find a weapon.
When it gets burned.
Yes.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Well, and as well as, again, goes back to such a well-made movie, is that after he's in the pub, we do get a couple scenes of not only our family, but him on his, Christmas route, where he's just, going into places, and he's just, and just, throwing stuff around.
Yeah.
He's not even really, his heart's not in it, right?
And all the wish lists are, cash, video games.
Yeah, and he's just whatever. Yeah. So I really like that, too, where he's just, eating the cookie, and then just, leaving.
Leaving, yeah. When he goes to that one house and the dad's, passed out drunk watching TV, so he, tucks the gift in with the kid, but gives him coal.
Yeah, and steals his beer.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I like drunk Santa. It's fun.
Yeah, no, it was. Well, and it was just so funny, like, even...
I should say is, I like Santa as a flawed character. Yeah. As, like, beaten down and stuff. It's a fun concept.
It was a great concept. You don't see that very often.
No, it's always like...
Yeah.
Or he's, like, in a Hallmark movie where he's, like, the fucking barista, and then at the end you see him fly across the moon on a reindeer.
or similar to, like the Tim Allen ones, where he's, like, learning to become Santa.
Yeah.
Right, so it's not a guy who's been doing it since the beginning. He's jaded with the whole thing.
Yeah.
No, and just even when he's like, he gets the cookies and the candy cane, like I was saying, and he's like got the milk and he dumps it out and just like pours the booze right in it. He doesn't even like rinse out the glass, and I'm like, ugh! Yeah. There's all that milk still in there. He's just pouring fancy scotch in there.
Doesn't care.
He just doesn't care.
At that point where he's like, I don't give a shit. I just want to get drunk.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so
I want to get expensive drunk.
yeah, it was like something from 1930 or whatever. He's just like, ooh, yeah. And then I guess, like you said, referencing a lot of the action, I forgot to bring up Jonathan Eusebio? Eusebio.
Okay.
He was the stunt coordinator. I looked, because I wanted to see how, like, these stunts were great. And like I was saying, I didn't find anybody who was specifically a David Harbour body double, but there was at least one guy who was a bigger guy, you know, that was probably doubling him on some stuff, but like John Leguizamo had a specific double and stuff like that. So, you know, David Harbour probably did everything he could, and this guy probably stepped in, but this...
Sorry, when you're done, I have to tell you something funny.
Well, I was just saying, this stunt coordinator looked him up. He worked on John Wick. He worked on Black Panther 300. He's done a ton of stuff. So, yeah, like Devin's been saying, the stunts and the action sequences in this movie were really great. Top-notch stuff. Like, I loved it all.
Sorry, just while we're talking about credits real quick.
Sure, yeah.
The Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt is in it for like maybe 5 minutes of screen time.
Sure.
The whole movie.
Yeah.
Watching the credits, he had like 7 assistants.
Nice.
Like, for what, dude?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you shot this in an hour.
Well, someone's got to direct him for that hour.
Yeah.
They'll be like, go over here, get the stuff,
No, it was like assistant to
Mr. Pratt.
To Mr. Pratt.
Yeah.
Second assistant to Mr. Pratt. And then it was like personal trainer of Mr. Pratt, private chef of Mr. Pratt. And I'm like, I don't think he spent a full day on set.
Well, or maybe just that's like the crew from the Guardians people that are he's still working with them for the next Guardians movie.
Listen, if you're one of Christopher Pratt's many assistants, I'm sure your job is difficult and about making fun of you. I'm making fun of the fact
that he has
that one man that's in a thing for like 5 fucking minutes needs 20 people to attend to him.
That's what it's about.
Yeah? Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
Back to Violent Night.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It was so good. The small twists in the story were great.
Yeah.
Not everything was as you expected.
We've spoiled everything for you now.
Well, you said spoilers in the beginning, so yeah. That's true. I don't know what else to say except for go see the movie. It's super excellent. It's worth it.
Incredibly fun movie. Like if you just want to have a nice time watching people get hurt.
Well, I was about to say if you're into that, like I said, we were laughing.
Oh my god! Yeah, we were probably very irritating.
Well, unfortunately, there wasn't that many people in the theater with us, but.
Yeah, but I don't know why don't people want to have fun?
No, there was other people were laughing occasionally.
Not as much as us. We really liked it. No one else did. Yeah. Not as much as we did.
Well, we're clearly weirdos who've seen a lot of movies.
That's true. Also, as I'm coming to terms with, I just apparently have no taste in movies because I really like the movie Men and no one else does.
Yeah, I don't know, and like I referenced to you immediately after the movie was ending, I was just like, the producer's name came up and stuff, and I was like, I bet you these people have John Wick involvement.
Yeah.
Turned out, yes, I was not wrong with that. And like I said, the Nobody connection as well, which was a recent action movie as well in that same vein, so I was like, my instincts were right on that, but great work that these people are doing. Because, like, the action movie genre has, been around for a long time, but it's expanded and been glommed into the superhero genre. So like a pure action movie like this, they don't make, it's incredible to me that it was made on $20 million.
Yeah.
Because something like this, it's clearly going to be successful. It already is.
Yeah.
And it's just like, they'll make more.
I hope so.
I hope so, right? Like,
I really like David Harbour in it too. Yeah. He was great. He was a great Santa.
Well, and I don't know if this is maybe unsubstantiated or if it's real, but there was, again, this probably clickbaity thing where it was like David Harbour wants to make like a cinematic universe involving like the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy and stuff. And it's just like, I'm like, sure, with it, whatever, maybe. But
would you just do the same movie over and over again?
Well, no, you couldn't. But, like do another family in a situation. But
it'd be fun to do like a horror movie with the Tooth Fairy.
Sure, yeah. Because like in Hellboy when they have like the Tooth Fairies, they're creepy.
Yeah, you could do something fun with that.
Yeah. So.
Or
But again, that could just have been a clickbaity title.
Yeah.
When someone was like, "Oh, would you make a cinematic universe?" He's like, "Sure."
Probably.
Yeah. Like, well, no.
Because the thing is about journalism now is that it doesn't exist anymore.
No. And quick shout out here to this. The Weekly Planet, they have their own service, which I've recently signed up for, where they have more shows on there, and one of them is them going through clickbait articles.
Oh my god!
And I'm only 6 episodes through because they've been doing it for a while now, but it's wildly hilarious and just entertaining because they'll be like, oh, okay, and then like so they'll be like, here's the thing, and he's like, all right, what's the source on that? And they'll scroll down and they're like, okay, yeah, here's the link. We'll click onto that, and it's like, oh, it's them again. Okay, but we'll go through this article to find the next. What was the source of this quote? And they go like 6 articles deep, and it never goes anywhere. And it's always just like insiders say or like sources, and you're like, but did someone say it?
Yeah, or did you just imagine that somebody could say it?
Well, or it's just like, Disney working on shows, maybe like She-Hulk, and it's just like, yeah, you could say any Marvel property that say that they're working on a show or a movie. It's like, that's not. And because there's no like quote from like, yeah, Kevin Feige, yes, we're making this show. It's before it was announced, and it was just like, yeah, they're probably working on it. But anyway.
I was like,
clickbaity hilarious.
Have you noticed that like CBC has started to get a bit clickbaity?
Yes and no. I mean, there's terms that are used nowadays, like like blah 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 slams this, and you're like, there was no slam.
Yeah.
Just don't use that word in that context.
Also,
anymore.
like, do we just need a full fucking article every time anyone says anything?
Yeah.
Right? Like, no, I was like, I'd like to be like more involved with reading about the news or like reading think pieces that aren't just like fucking stupid.
Right.
So I was like looking into stuff, but like the Atlantic is like $14 a month. Oh. The New Yorker's like and this is for digital shit.
Yeah.
Sorry to rant, but I'm just like, I don't want to pay $14 fucking dollars a month for this.
What I've been looking up sometimes is more like Reuters or like the AP. Because like those are just pure journalism. Like there's no editorializing. There's no nothing. It's just like, this is what's happening. Like this is what the person said. Here it is, done. And because then that's what the articles are written on in the CBC and other things. And they'll be like, the Associated Press is reporting this. And it's just like, when you go to that, it's just like, here's the paragraph. This is what they said.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, it's a little more direct.
I'm so tired of reading things that are like either nothing. They're like one paragraph that they've made into 4 paragraphs, so they're just like half a line each.
That's one of the bits that you do. They're like, how many paragraphs in before you get to the actual point of the article? And he's like, I don't know, like 3. And he's like, whoa, 5 in.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be something like Daniel Radcliffe is working on a new movie, but the headline will be like, Daniel Radcliffe smashes Lord of the Rings with his dick. And then you're like, what? And then you like go to the article and you're like, and it starts off with like, Daniel Radcliffe, famous for the Harry Potter franchise. And then it'll go into like the story of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And then the next paragraph will be like, oh, he was also in Horns. And they'll go into that. And then it'll finally, at the very bottom, it'll be like one sentence where they're like, we imagine that this is how he would have responded if somebody asked him a question. And like, it's like, fuck all the way off. Fuck off. Yeah.
But yeah, so,
go suck eggs.
This kind of thing, nice and direct, straightforward, good times.
Yeah. Sorry, apparently I feel ranty today.
Not a lot of faffing about, as they say.
No, it's just a fun fucking movie.
Yeah. And like you said as well, like, they don't drop the Christmas theme. It's through and through the entire way.
They know it's a Christmas movie. They made it a Christmas movie. It's not just repackaged. Do you remember that terrible Christmas like horror movie we watched that was like realistic?
The one with the babysitter or whatever?
Yeah.
And he like... ties her, like, takes her hostage or whatever.
Yeah.
The Psycho Kid one. Yeah.
That was the least fun movie I've ever watched.
It was not very fun. Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
And I was all geared up for that because I was like, oh, this sounds like Christmas horror. And
yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah, because it was like the attack, the antagonist outside attack was part of his plan.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, that's not as fun anymore.
Yeah, and he was just like a psychotic 8-year-old who's like kind of rapey.
Yes. Who wanted his babysitter.
Yeah. And just wants to torment her. And it was so not fun. Mm-hmm. It was just depressing. And it wasn't even fun kills. It was just like, it was just human misery in film form. This is way better.
This was way better. Yes, this was way better. Yeah, I mean, like I said, David Harbour was great. The entire cast did quite well, I think. And yeah, like you said, there were a lot of hinges on the child. She did well. Yeah,
she was super sweet. Like, you wanted her to survive.
And have a good time and have a magical Christmas.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. She pumps up Santa when he's feeling down.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. Mm-hmm. I recommend. Do you recommend?
Highly.
Great.
Yeah.
Should I wrap it up?
Sure.
Okay. Or should I rant some more?
No.
Let me tell you. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, download it 10 more times. Tell everybody you know to download it. Mm-hmm. Do we still get rates and reviews? Do we still do that? Rate and review us
if you want,
somewhere.
You don't have to. Yeah.
We're on Instagram. We have a website. You can email us, tomeofuselessness@gmail.com.
Yeah.
You can not do those things too. You can just wait till episodes come out and listen to them and then live your best life.
Yeah. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Yeah, Happy Holidays. Yeah. I hope that you were on the nice list and that you get presents from Santa.
Don't get skull crushed.
Don't get skull crushed. Goodbye.